How's camp going for you? First
Good.
camp in a long time, right?
Good. Yeah, first camp in quite a long time.
What's it been like for you, kind of, in this role, your first time in such a long time?
Oh, it's been great. I've been learning a lot. I have been having a great time, both on the field, off the field. The opportunity to work with young men that really want to get better and enjoy the process. And I knew this was going to be a challenge that I was ready for, but you never know until you get into it. And so I've really enjoyed being a part of the team and getting back into the process and the schedule of training camp. It's different than I remember, that's for sure, but the whole process has been enjoyable.
How much did you need to have that moment of like, I'm in the right place? Like, was there a point in this process where you're like, okay, this was the right decision for me?
I didn't need a point in time. I knew it was the right decision. That's why I made it. So I was just looking forward to getting into the process of learning and teaching and growing and getting better and competing. And we are really early in the process, so I'm looking forward to what's to come.
Being an analyst for so long, what's the biggest adjustment you've had to make from being in the booth to now being on the field?
I don't think it's an adjustment, honestly. They're two totally different things. The other day I was trying to think of what I would be doing now if I was still working in television, and I was so thankful to be here. Let's just put it that way.
Because of the player's age, do most of them know you as a former player or as someone who was in the booth?
I don't know. I really haven't, asked them that question. I guess you'd have to ask them.
What did you come up with when you were thinking of what you would be doing if you weren't here? What did you land on?
Well, outside of spending time with the family, which would have been good, it's learning names and numbers and off-season storylines for 32 teams and which coaches are where and free agency and all that other stuff. It's really been nice to focus on one task, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do you feel like your words carry a little more weight because they know you've played the game in the NFL?
Honestly, I don't know. I try to bring an experience, and nobody wants to hear kind of what happened in days past, right? Like nobody likes to hear that, but I do think when the experiences are relevant and they're applicable, and I think as the season goes on, we experience different challenges and different moments, and how we handle the environment. I think that some of the things that I experience can be helpful. I hope they can be helpful, and hopefully help all of our quarterbacks to anticipate how we react to certain situations, both on and off the field.
I've heard you say in the past that you're learning, Trey's learning. Is that a good thing that both of you guys are learning kind of together?
Absolutely. I mean, one of our core tenets we talked about our very first meeting was pushing our comfort zones and challenging ourselves. And I'm a lifelong learner. I hope that as long as I'm on this earth, I'm learning and growing. And this experience has certainly been that. And I think we are approaching, or at least giving ourselves an opportunity to be our best self when we're continuing to grow.
How do you assess the first week of the first training camp, Trey Lance as a starting quarterback?
How do I assess it?
How's he doing? How's he improving?
Oh, I've been really encouraged. Like I said when we talked the last time, he gives himself a chance because he shows up every single day and he's ready to work. He has a humility about him that gives him a chance to learn from his mistakes, to grow. I've been really encouraged about his demeanor. That's impressive for a young man his age. That's not natural. And so the way that he interacts with his team, the way that he operates on the field, the way that he responds when he makes a mistake, all of those things are very, very positive on top of his physical abilities, which are significant.
Can you give an example of that demeanor? Is it just that he doesn't get too down on himself with a mistake here or there?
Well, everybody has a different personality. Everybody has a different demeanor. We have a lot of examples of very, quarterbacks in the NFL that go up and down, very high and low. Some of the greatest to ever play have been that way. You know, I think of like Brett Favre. You know, he's constantly emotion on the field, like bundled up. And then you have some flatliners, you know, that so you don't know until you get out there and begin to experience it with a young quarterback who's learning it, what their unique style and personality and demeanor is going to be. And it can be both. But I think his demeanor has been really impressive in that, you know, he is able to compartmentalize, you know, his job, his role, his understanding mentally what he is responsible for, collectively as a leader of the team and the offense what he's responsible for, and having the proper timing of communication, when to get on somebody, when to encourage, you know, when to slow things down, when to pick things up. I mean, you really are a manager, not only of the game but the people. And for someone his age, 22 years old, he doesn't have it down, guys. Like, we're continuing to grow with that, but like he has a foundation and a base that I think is really impressive, and the relationships that he has in a locker room is what allows him to do that.
More like this rather than a flatliner or this.
Yeah, no, he's got a appropriate amount of understanding of timing and moments, and he doesn't get too low, doesn't get too high. That's been pretty cool to see.
Have you had an opportunity to talk with Jimmy Garoppolo at all since he's been here rehabbing?
Yeah, I texted him, but I left that between Jimmy and Kyle. I have a huge amount of respect for Jimmy. Again, we talk about experiences. I was in a situation where I knew I wasn't going to be on a team, and I was let go late in the process after June 1st for salary cap reasons, and I remember how hard that was. And we all want to know where we're going to play, where we're going to be. And now this has gone on, and so it's very difficult for Jimmy. And so I have a lot of empathy for the situation that he's in. I know what he's meant to this organization, to this locker room, to this area, to the Bay Area. And so I hope that this is resolved as soon as possible and that he finds a place that works for him. I wish nothing but the best for him.
Your delivery seems pretty even keel, and I don't know if it should have surprised me, but it did watching you in the drills. You're very active, animated at times. How would you describe your coaching style?
I don't know. I'm figuring that out. I'm just doing whatever feels natural at this point.
How beneficial has it been for Trey as a first-year starter to be going against this defense that's been just so dominant in recent years?
Yeah, I think there's some good and bad. You know, can't get much harder, but you also want to build some skills and some confidence too. But I think he understands the position that we're in. I think he understands that this is a great opportunity to grow and to do it against some of the best in the league.
You just mentioned earlier that you knew this was the right decision when you made it. Did you have something missing? I know John Lynch has talked a lot about leaving the booth, and he felt like he needed a result on Sundays.
Yeah.
He didn't have that. Was that a factor for you, or what were the things that kind of went into making this for you?
Absolutely, I think that was number one. There's no winning or losing in the booth, and I enjoyed my time doing it. I really did, and there was some leadership aspects to it of leading a team of 125 or 150 people to go and cover a game and to do it well and to do it under the brightest lights and to communicate and to teach the game to people at home. And I enjoyed all of that, but there was when the game was over, you didn't know if you won or lost. So I thought about getting into coaching when I retired, but my kids were young and I didn't want to bounce around the country. It was really as simple as that. And so my family had made sacrifices for me to play for a long time, and I felt like it was time for me to be home. And so it was the right mix for me. And after 13 years, my kids have grown up, they're getting ready to get out of the house. And so when the opportunity came, it was the right time. And it was the right challenge at that moment.
Just wanted to talk about, first few days at camp, first half of camp now, situation in the running back room, how optimistic you are about it.
Are we already halfway through camp?
I think
Man,
just about.
You lose track of days when you're in it now, I'm just telling you.
I think 7 practices in at this point.
Well, I've been pleased with the way the guys are working. You know, the guys are working hard, and every day they're trying to get better and improve. And I'm learning this group, you know, being with them for the first time. And that's been a pleasure because they're all outstanding young men. But we have a lot of work to do, but I'm pleased with where we're at so far. But we have a lot of work to do.
Elijah Mitchell, 6th-round pick from last year, kind of had a breakout season his rookie year. What expectations do you have of him in year 2?
Yeah, you know, I can see Elijah setting himself up to go to the next level. Just his preparation, his attitude, and the way he approaches jobs. So I'm excited about his future and what he can do next.
Running back, the whole entire group kind of suffered a ton of injuries last year. How do you feel about the depth that you have with this group in camp right now?
I like the depth that we have. I think it's very good. You know, you have guys like Jordan Mason we brought in as a free agent. You know, he's doing an outstanding job. Bigger guy that can move and run, and he's created some competition in the room, and that's great.
Can you talk a little bit about Trey Sermon? Obviously, you weren't here last season, but from what you've seen from him on tape and maybe, you know, just getting to know him, what is he priming himself to do in year 2?
Well, you know, I heard about last season and everything with Trey, but, you know, Trey and I had to talk when I got here, clean slate with me. And, you know, Trey has a tremendous skill set. I like him coming out of college. And I really like what he's doing right now. You know, he knows he's got to get better, but I think Trey is working hard, and I think he's responding, and he's competing right now, very competitive.
What emphasis, I guess, on what techniques or what are you bringing in with you that is uniquely yours to this running, you know, just the run game in general?
You know, I just think with these guys, before you can start doing all the X's and O's, which we do every single day, you got to get to know these young men. And that's the process I'm going through right now, is getting to know these guys individually and have these sit down and one-on-one talks with them because man, the mental side of this game is big. And when you can talk to guys on that level and they can relate and connect, then I think you can get the most out of people. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now. But with the X's and O's, I mean, we have an outstanding system. And I think running backs are fortunate to be in this system because if you want to rush for a lot of yards and run the football, this is the place to be.
I know Debo obviously a wide receiver, but how beneficial is it to have kind of that jack of all trades just working for you on the offense that he can come out of the backfield if you need him to?
You used to say jack of all trades and master of none, but in Debo's case, it's jack of all trades, master of all. He can do it all. He can do it at a high level. It's pretty cool to see him running around out on the practice field now. I'm glad we got the deal done with him.
I guess what interactions do you have with him on a day-to-day basis? Since, you know, he's usually with the wideouts, you know.
I know. He comes by the office every now and then, and we, you know, chit-chat and see him in the cafeteria. You know, I love talking with him.
Kind of just this is my first season too, what I've observed from the running backs at the podium, a little quieter on the reserve side. Are they like that with you, or is it totally different on the field?
No, that's kind of their nature, you know. They're all about their business, and I like that, you know. I've had those guys that are not as quiet.
Bigger personalities.
Bigger personalities, and that's a lot more to manage, I can tell you that.